Well guys, it's Saturday afternoon. I just grabbed the coffee. Thought I'd go for a little cruise in the 92. The car started just bucking a little bit, and then it kind of backfired, and then it quit. And I don't know what it is. Here I am in the middle of the Superstore parking lot. I had to push it off the highway myself. Thank God I'm in such good shape. So, turn the key on, fuel pump cycles. I got the hood up. You know, I basically had it running for like 5 minutes. I thought maybe if the T.F.I ignition module got warm. I don't want to wear down my battery. I'm 7 minutes from home. And I don't think I've really been stranded in a Mustang since it's been a long time. Maybe I think I was going down the highway trying out my 86 once, and the oil pump shaft broke. But that was like 20 years ago, and that was from a little bit of abuse. I was just driving this thing really nice, and here it just quit on me. I feel betrayed. I spent so much time on this car. It's always started, it's always ran. Even almost a year ago when I got it, I had to drive it probably 45 minutes home. And it's not cooperating. Come on. You know, I just changed the fuel filter, so maybe I should cut the other one apart and see how it looks, because it was probably the original filter on there. I'd say I have no spark, but I don't even have an extra spark plug to check it. Oh well, let's take a look. My distributor, I can turn it a bit because I know I had the distributor out. Maybe I didn't tighten it down, but it really hasn't moved. I could still try that. If anything, maybe this T.F.I ignition module, maybe. But that's where we're at. This isn't fun when you just get your car out and it misbehaves. Maybe the timing is out enough. Well, I can hear the fuel pump cycle, so let's turn it the other way. I feel like a kid again with car trouble. Okay, at least I could turn that. You know, maybe got a bad coil wire. I could swap a couple wires and try that too. So we'll try it one more time. If not, I'll swap a coil wire with a plug wire. No. Well, we're gonna sign off for a minute. Well guys, I have an update. It still won't start. And here's the worst part. I have no one to call because usually everybody calls me. Not that I think I'm the expert, but usually all my buddies call me when their car won't start. I think I'm gonna have to head home and I'll get my wife to pick me up. Bring another distributor. Let's see, distributor, that's my top guess. I'll bring a spark plug to see if I have spark. That's what I'll check first. I'll check for spark. And then we'll have to see if we're getting fuel. Maybe the tank is so full of junk that, you know, that's entirely possible. But when I drove it home when I got the car, nothing acted up at all. Like, it ran terrific and totally ran great up until just recently here, and I only had it out a couple times. So maybe I'll have to cut apart the other fuel filter, see if it looks half decent inside or if it's rusty. So that's one thing. So I guess we're gonna check to see if we have fuel or spark. So my wife's coming to pick me up. I'm gonna get a coil, a distributor, a spark plug, what else? Because you know, there's a video that I made last year on Shane's 86 Mustang. We tried the T.F.I ignition module, and it was the profile ignition pickup. The P.I.P signal wasn't there in the distributor. So, and to test the car, I took the distributor out of this car to try on his, because it was a known working distributor. So, because on his car we were trying the different ignition modules and none of them were working. And it's kind of funny, my brother was cleaning out his garage today, or his shed, and he had a big pile of distributor caps and wires, and there was a distributor there and everything else, and he said, "You want any of this?" And I says, "Well, I'll take the rubber cover that goes on top of the distributor, just have a spare one." And I said, "There's a T.F.I module on that distributor, I'll take one of those." So you could never have enough T.F.I modules kicking around, because if you go to the parts store, generally nobody keeps them. That reminds me, my buddy Kevin, he lives about 2 hours away or 2.5 hours away from the drag strip, and we were meeting in the drag strip in Saskatoon to go Saturday night street legal racing. Kevin drives all the way up from Saskatoon from Regina. He unloads his car, he puts the slicks on it. You know, he drove his car everywhere. It was practically his daily driver back then. So he's getting ready to go and get into the staging lanes to make his first pass, and his car wouldn't start. And it was doing the same thing. It was just cranking over. So I said to him, "Probably your T.F.I ignition module." And 20 years ago, if you went to Parts Source, they had one, and he got a ride into Saskatoon because the drag strip is just south of the city. He got a T.F.I module and he could continue racing. We're just going to get a ride home. We'll go through some of my parts, and then I'll come back and I'll swap a few things out. Give her a try. I'm going to try it one more time. If it starts, I'll be shocked. No, this is acting so much like Shane's 86 GT, it's not even funny. So I'll probably just dump in a whole distributor. That way I don't have to worry about changing the module. And it's got to be something simple. That's the thing. These cars are so simple that's one thing that I like about them. You know, you can hook up your scan tool. Actually, I do have a scan tool too. In fact, it's really handy what Matthew from Tech Motion, he did a video on the scan tool and the power of the electronics in these cars and what you could find out. So I might have to resort to that too. So I'm lucky I have an old school scan tool that I could hook up to this thing, and at least it could give me an indicator of what's going on. Okay, I'm gonna sip my coffee and we'll keep you posted. At least it's nice out. Well, it looks like there's my ride. Okay, we're gonna go get some parts. Like one guy said, forward, backwards. Driver returns on foot. He wasn't kidding. Well, I got my Foxbody starter, emergency starter kit here. Distributor, a coil, T.F.I module, scan tool, test light, a wrench for the distributor. We'll try that. And you know, I had the original fuel filter here and I threw it out. I should have cut it apart. So, lesson learned. Next time we'll cut the fuel filter apart. Just, you know, it saves you dropping the tank to see what's inside. It's It's like playing CSI with your fuel system. Anyways, back we go. Okay guys, we're back on the scene. Joan's in the car. I set up the spark plug. Let's check for spark. Okay dear, it's in neutral. Make sure it's in neutral and try starting it. We have no spark. Okay, I'm just gonna change the distributor here. I just unplugged it, 1/2 inch wrench. Just gonna make sure you remember which way the distributor is pointing. So it's, yeah, I'll just loosen this off. Oh boy, of course there's no room here to work. Should have got a shorter wrench for distributors, but as long as we could get in there. So you can see the rotor's pointed here, and I can see that this is pointed at about a 5 o'clock position. So I know that it's at about almost 2 o'clock when I pull the distributor out. So just kind of remember what's what. Okay, I'm gonna grab another distributor. That's such good timing. My awesome brother gave me this a couple weeks ago. And I'll take this. So I'm gonna have it roughly in a 2 o'clock position. There. That is really close to what I had. Put that bolt back in on the bottom. Here we go. That goes there, that goes there. Coil wire. Okay. I'm quite confident. I think it's gonna start. Let her rip. How about that? Isn't that awesome? That is such a relief. Now we'll be able to drive this thing home. Thanks to Joan for giving me a ride here and helping me out. Now the big question is, do I go straight home or do I chance it? Well guys, happy to report I've been driving this thing for about 45 minutes. I'll have to set the timing in it obviously, but it's running smooth, the temperature's good, everything's looking good, so I think I'm going to rebuild the distributor that I took out of it and have a spare. And hey, when you guys go on a road trip, that's not a bad idea to at least take a T.F.I ignition module, but obviously we've seen there's been other things that are causing problems as well too. So if you have a little kit you can put together, put a distributor in, a coil, have a spare spark plug so you can check for spark really easy. And I'm even thinking, you know, really for the price of a fuel pump, you know, just to change a fuel pump out and put a new one in, it's not a bad idea. Plus you get to see the condition of the inside of your tank if you neglected to cut the fuel filter apart like I did. Anyways, we're gonna head home. Had a good cruise. I'm gonna put the car back in the shop and do a few other little things and call her a night. Anyways, thanks for watching and thanks for hanging out with us, and I'm pretty sure we're gonna make it home. Cheers.